Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be making a page in my Dina Wakley journal using some gloss spray to make a background. So I'm starting off on one of the cotton rag pages and just putting down some collage tissue in the background. So this is one of the new, I think it's called alphabets collage tissue. It's just, a series of writing and spray alphabets and sort of very graffiti-ish style. But it's great to tear up, and the good thing about this one in particular, it's got the positive and negative. So you can get sort of that really strong black and white contrast on the page. So while I liked having the white on the page, I wanted to add a little bit of darkness to it as well. So just by tearing up little bits of the black and sticking them on the page and overlapping them just really helped to sort of balance up my page just at that little bit. So you start off with a blank page and then pretty soon you've got a page full of stuff. And that's what I really like about putting collage in the background. For some people, the fear of white page is a real thing. The fear of the white background is a real thing. So just by putting some collage in the background really simply, it's already broken up for you. Now I'm going in with my gloss spray. So I've used syrup and orchid and spraying it in the background, and you'll see that I sort of sprayed one over the other and they've resisted on the gel medium as well, so you get this really cool effect, sort of like a little bit of splattering. Now also going in with sage, which is another of the new colours, just to get a little bit of that sort of mottled effect. And I'm really loving the combination of these three colours because together they have a really a modern grungy effect. They look sort of spray painty, but moss has grown over the top of them on a garden wall. Well, they do to me anyway. Probably got too good an imagination. So once I've done that, I've then put some splatters of ink over the top as well. And what I like about that is, depending on how you add in your splatters or where you add them in, it just adds a little bit of darkness as well when they dry. If there's sort of like a spot of it, it's obviously a little bit more concentrated, so you get a darker spot on your page. Sorry, I'm rambling on. Once I'd done this, I really liked what my background was, and I wasn't sure what to go on with, so I thought I would add in some stamped images. So I'm stamping out the Lonely Girl, which is one of the Dina Wakley's collage, part of her collage girl stamps. And I stamped out two because the first one didn't stamp out really well. I didn't use enough pressure when stamping it. And I'm just cutting it out roughly. Now this stamp has got a lovely bit of text down the side of it, but I'm actually going to cut that off. And the reason for that is I don't want to have a harsh white line. I actually want to have just the figure on my page. And if I tried to stamp this directly onto my page, because it's the cotton rag paper, which has got a bit of texture to it, I wouldn't get a great stamped image. So I'm cutting quite closely, so I've got my image there. But she was very small on the page and a bit lost, so I thought that I might actually stamp a trio of the girls. And going back in and stamping it 2 more times. The paper itself that I'm using isn't brilliant. It's a digital paper. It's quite plasticky. I've found it usually takes stamped images really well, but it is quite thin. So I probably would have had a little bit more success with this if I'd actually used a thicker cardstock. But it is what it is, and it worked in the end. So that's all that counts. So I'm just going in again, cutting out my images, again fussy cutting as close as I possibly can. I'm funny when it comes to things like this. I don't fussy cut much, but I do like to cut right up to the edge of the image. I don't like having the white areas around it unless it's part of the design. It's one of the things. I don't have a die cutting machine, but when I have used them, it really bugs me when you've got your stamped images and you've got the die cut to cut it out and it still leaves the white image, because I end up having to go around with a pair of scissors and cut it off anyway, which kind of defeats the purpose. So I just worked out where I wanted my little group of women to go. So I just use my Stabilo oil pencil to mark out roughly where to glue them, so they're all in one place. And funnily enough, on this page I didn't actually ground them to the bottom, which I usually do on a page, so they are kind of floating there, but I had this idea to tie them to where they're supposed to be. So this is again in the same collage tissue pack as the alphabet in the background. And it's just a sheet of I am mantras, which I really loved, and there's some brilliant ones. So Dina's sort of come out with mantras like this before. She's got a stencil with it. She's got some of her collage tissues, the small ones, that have got them on, but this has got a whole heap of new words to add into it, which I really loved. So I've just cut it up into strips, the 5 that I really wanted. So I'm complicated, I am persistent, I am becoming, I am a fighter, and the last one was I am trying. So the I am trying, I deliberately pasted over the bottom of the women's legs, tying them together almost like a bouquet to ground it just that little bit onto the page, which sort of helped to pull it all together. I'm also going in with my Stabilo oil pencil and just doing the outline of the stamped images, just to give a little bit of depth to the page, to push them out from the background. And it's a really quick and easy way to do it. So because it is a water-soluble pencil, you can sort of see when it dissolves away it gets quite inky black, and depending on how much water you put on, you can kind of control how dark it's going to be or where it's going to go. But it's just a really great way to make your images pop out from the background. I'm also going in and adding some white pen work to this page, just to balance it up a little bit, to put a little bit of a border on, because I've got that quite strong black border on it, so I wanted to add a little bit of white to sort of balance it up somewhat. Then you can see me going, am I finished? Am I finished? So I thought I would add a little bit of colour in, and I chose yellow, which I don't know why I chose yellow. I really didn't like it. I ended up covering it over in the end. I also wanted to put on some washi heights, but I couldn't find my lovely washi heights that I usually use, so I decided to draw them in the end. So in the close-up you can see how I've coloured those in. I also decided to get some white pen just to sort of outline those heights so they stand out a little bit from the background. So this is my finished page. I really liked how it came together. The background itself was really, really quick and easy to do, and it's something that's really versatile and you could do so much with it. So I hope you have a go at using your gloss sprays, and until next time, bye for now.